And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
It's been a long time.
We shouldn't have left you
without a dope pod to step to. He is Jalen versus everybody.
What up, Dale?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
We putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
We get the people what they want.
Jalen Rowan has been on vacation for a little bit, and everyone was complaining about you not being on the show, sending me tweets, talking about how we got canceled. And now the world knows.
The world knows.
Now the world knows.
The world knows. You can't hide
now
anything.
Now the world knows.
You can't hide anything from page 6, I see.
What exactly Jalen Rose
they all up in my
was
business.
up to during his 2-week hiatus.
Yes.
Why don't you give the people what they want and tell us a little bit about your 2 weeks off?
I joined my brother David Jacoby, and my lovely bride and I officially tied the knot.
Yes.
Molly Karam Rose.
Yes.
And we jumped the broom and got married.
Oh, wait, hold up. I think you broke some other news. Is she going to do the hyphen name?
Yeah, I think she's going in hyphen.
Oh, you said I think, now you said I think.
Well,
it's hard to change a name. There's a lot of paperwork involved.
Well, you just got to go to DMV, but it is a lot of paperwork. And I heard you can't smile on your picture at the DMV. Is that true?
That's not true. I stuck my tongue out and they let me keep it.
Oh, okay, cool. But in all honesty, the last 10 to 14 days have been really special for both of us. You know, having time off, being able to enjoy it with one another. Not much really changes when you already live together and you're already in a committed relationship. But to officially get it done, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm truly an example of somebody that outkicked their coverage.
Oh, welcome to the brotherhood. I hope she never just wakes up one day and says, "What am I doing with this dude?"
You know how we love to use that term, "don't beef down"?
Yes.
I didn't do that in this case.
You married up. You married up. And I just want to say, as someone who knows you very well and knows Molly, that I'm just so excited for you two.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I'm so happy for you two. The fabulous song, "You Make Me Better," comes to mind. Like, Molly just improves you. She's definitely too good for you, which is when you need to lock it down. Now there's paperwork involved. She has to get a lawyer if she wants to break up with you. Like, it gets complicated. I'm just so happy for you. I love you two as a couple. I spent time with you guys together.
Family.
Your chemistry is amazing. She's just such a kind and loving person, and you as well. Like, I'm just so happy that you two have taken this step. And on behalf of everybody that works on the show, the J&J family, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Appreciate the love. And everybody that's followed our movement know how we feel about power couples. Maybe I get a chance to acknowledge my top power couples in sports other than us.
I saw this on Get Up and it's wrong. So if you want to give your wrong list about power couples, go ahead.
All right. And so, first and foremost, a couple of people just can't make the list. Like, there's a huge event happening, and it's a velvet rope, and it's bodyguards outside and everything. And all of a sudden, there are people that roll up to the party, like Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe, like A-Rod and J-Lo.
That's a big one there.
Like Aaron Rodgers and Danica Patrick. You know the difference? They're not married.
So whenever we talk about sports, you're like, oh, we can't count the rings. It's not just about championships. And now once you get married, all of a sudden you start counting rings.
I like what you did there.
All of a sudden you're like, no, if you guys didn't make it official, if you didn't put a ring on it like us, like we did in our committed relationship, then you can't get in. Look at you. Been married for 10 days.
This is a fair critique of my analysis, but it also shows that I can now be a hypocrite.
Of course.
Fine.
Yeah, but please, contradicting yourself and being a hypocrite, that's what we do here.
And so, for me, and I want to go with a sports tie. Number 5, Dwayne Wade and Gabby Union.
I love those two.
They're a terrific power couple. And we know about the championships and the All-Star games for D. Wade, but she's extremely accomplished in her own right. Bring It On, 10 Things I Hate About You, and actually won an NAACP Image Award. So they're number 5.
Okay.
Any complaints about that?
I would put them higher. Just go through your whack list and then I'll give you mine.
All right, number 4 is Russell Wilson and Ciara.
Come on now.
She won a Grammy. She got 8 top 10 songs. He a 4-time Pro Bowler and won a Super Bowl.
I'm questionable. They're not in my top 5.
Okay. Number 3, David and Victoria Beckham. She's a part of the Spice Girls, and we know they've had success, 4 top 10 hits, and number 1 overall song on Billboard, and he's had an opportunity to be considered probably the number 1 athlete in the world at some point of his career.
Never happened.
How about number 2, Tom Brady and Giselle?
I like this one.
She's been Forbes' top earning model. How about she's ranked amongst the most powerful women, period. And we know about his accomplishments as a football player. 5-time Super Bowl, 13 Pro Bowls, 3-time AP, NFL MVP. And number 1, royalty, J&B.
Okay, Jay-Z got nothing to do with sports. Don't act like, oh, well, Rock Nation Sports is it runs a company. Like, he got nothing to do with sports.
You just said it. You contradicted yourself in reverse. You said Jay has nothing to do with sports.
Nothing to do with sports.
And then you said all of his sports ties.
Well, look, because he is a co-founder of a company that is an agency that represents sports, also represents Jalen Anthony Rose, doesn't mean that he's in the sports industry. If you said, where does Jay-Z make his money?
You
would say music.
The part owner of the Nets.
Has been in the past.
Okay. How about he's the president of basketball at Puma?
That they make clothes and shoes. That's fashion industry. That's not sports industry. You're reaching for Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I'm just saying, DeAndre Ayton, Bagley.
Okay, then why aren't Barack and Michelle on there then? He plays basketball every once in a while. He once attended a sporting event. You're reaching.
Well, I work for a company and sometimes they want us to stick to sports.
Okay.
Because there's enough. I could have put 45 and his wife on there if that's the case.
Sure. He plays golf. Reggie would have edited it out.
You know, let's just do that.
Let me just say, Reggie, first of all, Reggie has his own commentary, and he thinks I don't notice. But the 2 couples on your list that look like me got negative remarks from the Reggie soundboard. All the other couples that look like you, no negative remarks from the soundboard. Oh, now Reggie's in my ear trying to defend himself.
I'm just stating facts. Nothing to do with what they do.
I'm just stating facts. I'm just stating facts. That's all I have to say.
So, and I know you didn't prepare for this like I don't prepare for the show.
Please, I don't have to prepare. I want Steph and Aisha on there, and I want Jay-Z and Beyonce out. And I want Dwayne Wade higher. I might even take Russell Wilson and Ciara out. You said you had your little research that I know you didn't do that Hembo gave you. He's like, Ciara's got 8 top 10 hits. Okay, how many number 1s? Russell Wilson, top 10 quarterback in the NFL? He's not the GOAT.
But that's what makes them a power couple. Because who are the 9 people in front of them?
One's Aaron Rodgers, but apparently you're counting rings all of a sudden. You spent your whole life not counting rings. But now Danica and Aaron can't be even on the sports power couple list. No, I really think Tom Brady and Giselle got to be number 1. Because when you're the greatest quarterback of all time, with one of the highest grossing models of all time, that's a power couple. But you see your man, Michigan Wolverine Tom Brady with his shirt off on the beach. Like, if you're going to write a book about the TB12 method, and you're going to talk about how you don't eat strawberries or caffeine because you've got this crazy diet, and you work out so much, and the other people need to get on your workout program, you got to look better with your shirt off. I'm looking at Tom Brady with his shirt off, like, he kind of looks like me with his shirt off. And I got paid to talk.
He gave you a little confidence?
A little bit.
Start feeling better about yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, Tom. I know you won't say anything about Tom Brady, but you expect him to look better with his shirt off. You saw the pictures.
I didn't see the picture.
For real?
I need to follow him on IG.
Man, you're on vacation.
He living his best life. And I understand. Here's the thing. If Beyonce and Giselle both walk down the street, who stops the city? Who stops the country?
Beyonce.
Okay.
Okay, Beyonce's married to a rapper. Giselle's married to a quarterback. That's why they're on the sports list.
Jay-Z's a mogul. Mm-hmm. One of the things that he does is rap into a microphone.
You see him?
And they're currently on tour.
You see him on a jet ski?
I did, with his helmet.
I don't know if he's in the power couple.
But there are people, just so you know, that feel like that about people when they ride bikes. So I know as much as you love to ride bikes.
Oh, no doubt. My friends tried to clown me for wearing a helmet. Like last week, I'm like, you're clowning me for wearing a helmet riding a bike? You see what's happening in these New York City streets? Yep. Pedestrians popping out everywhere, e-bikes zooming past, mopeds, people just not respecting the traffic lights. Of course I'm wearing a helmet. Of course. So
everybody that wanted to clown Jay should probably think about it.
Oh, I want to clown Jay. I'm not a rapper. You know? I'm not a rapper. Well, I just want to congratulate you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate the love.
I'm so happy that you're here. And anytime you need marriage advice, just let me know.
I will.
Just let me know.
I will.
Here's my first piece. Just say you're sorry, even if you don't feel it. So, you know, I would say dishonest apologies are just part of marriage. You don't try to win the fight. Try to end the fight.
This is hilarious therapy.
Just try to end it. Don't try to win it. You're not going to win. You're never going to win. She's right. Just apologize and say you're sorry, even if you don't feel it. It's hard. It's hard getting used to. But after a couple of years of empty apologies, you can just fire them off like nothing. I can make the empty apology seem so official. My wife does this in the podcast, so I can say this. She does it to me too. She does it to me too. She snapped at me for no reason, texted back, I'm sorry. I was like, I know she doesn't mean that. I know right after she texted, I'm sorry, she just complained about me for 5 minutes to herself. Let's give the people what they want.
Allie's mom knew she had a strong kick even back in the womb. And from then on, Allie was always kicking a ball and saying she was going to play pro soccer. And one day, while she was kicking a ball against a wall, her skills drew even more attention. Her boss said, "Could you please stop that and get me those quarterly numbers I asked for?" Turns out Allie just wasn't that good a talker. But she was a good accountant. That's why she switched to Geico. She knew they could save her a bunch of money on car insurance. And she sure wasn't ever going to make that pro soccer money. No, sir.
Well, it looks like the people of Toronto are getting what they want. Kawhi Leonard was officially announced as a Toronto Raptor. He even had a facial expression in this picture that kind of almost resembles a smile. Like almost smiling, which is as close to a smile as you get from Kawhi Leonard. There are reports that he's healthy, he's ready to play, he's willing to play, he's going to play for the Raptors. Also, there was this report. A source close to Kawhi told a San Diego newspaper, quote, he's going to fall in love with Toronto. It's going to happen. He's not going to leave. I'm telling you. Jalen, you played in Toronto. Do you think Kawhi Leonard could fall in love with the Raptors and the city up north and stay?
How do I feel about Toronto?
You love Toronto.
How do I feel about Toronto?
You really love Toronto.
I'm trying to tell everyone. It's one thing, like say you're a member of the Lakers, the Warriors, Sacramento. Mm-hmm. There are 3 teams in that state.
4 teams, count the Clippers.
Imagine if you're the only team that represents an entire country.
A nation.
Okay? Just think about the level of support that comes with that.
And anyone that sees a playoff game there, like they turn on for the Raptors.
And also, like, the people are warm and wonderful. The culture, it taught me a lot, you know, about things that I wasn't necessarily exposed to, like French food and stuff like that. And I like to hearken it to being what I call a clean version of New York City.
What are you trying to say about the great city of New York, the greatest city in the world?
Sometimes I walk down the street and the trash is taller than me.
Sometimes, but it's about to get picked up in a couple days.
So Toronto has amazing fans. They have a super fan in Nav. I know him by name.
Shout out.
They're going to embrace Kawhi. on a basketball team that just so happened was the number 1 seed in the East last year.
Got better.
I know that Boston made it to the conference finals. I know Philly's on the rise. LeBron James is gone.
Well, the city of Toronto is preparing themselves for Kawhi's arrival. And you didn't even hint at this, but I know about your Toronto experience. And let's just take a look at how Club Zanzibar is preparing for Kawhi Leonard. Club Zanzibar.
I've been
Enjoy
there.
Non-stop nude dancers. Hello, Kawhi. Bye-bye, DeMar. Do you think Kawhi will head over to Club Zanzibar?
He better. What do you mean? He should. King Street, Queen Street, a lot of.
What do you know about Club Zanzibar, Jalen Rose? What do you know about Club Zanzibar?
Think about it like this. People still trying to get clues to what happened when Blake Griffin broke the jaw of his trainer. Why? Because it's a different country. They operate by different rules. If that happened in the United States.
Can we get a 30 for 30 green lit about that night? We still haven't heard the details of that night.
If that happened in the United States,
we'd have footage.
It'd be 50 people with it on their phone.
Oh, of course. Of course.
But then you have to, in Toronto, you got to go to the Prime Minister, Aubrey Drake, to get that information. And by the way, he gets a chance to recruit Kawhi.
Oh, yeah, that's happening. Drake is going to go full on. Drake, he's not going to have to go to Club Zanzibar.
Correct.
Drake's going to take care of Kawhi.
That? No
he's going to rhyme about Kawhi. Kawhi, do you want to come over to the studio? Anytime. Here's the keys to my house. Kawhi, anytime you want to use it, just let me know. We'll see. Moving on.
And if it doesn't work, DeMar's number's off the books. Kawhi's number's off the books. And you're a player in 2019 free agents.
They can change the marquee at Club Zanzibar really easily. Moving on. You mentioned DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is now on the Spurs. Guess who else also committed to the Spurs this offseason? Rudy Gay. The two of them teamed up at the Drew. Look at that. Off the backboard to himself. I didn't see a lot of defense in that. But Gay and DeRozan combined for 60 points. Greg Popovich said there's no timeline in his retirement. The Spurs, without Kawhi, were 1 game away from the 4 seed in the West last year. Are we sleeping on the Spurs as a legitimate contender in the West?
Rudy Gay's one of those players that people really slept on throughout his entire career. Though he didn't blossom to become like a Vince Carter, I think that he's always been one of the best players that played at an all-star level that probably didn't get a nod to get in the game. And then all of a sudden he had a knee injury. He gets a chance to rehab that knee injury. You go to the Kings, everybody gets lost there. And then all of a sudden you reemerge as a member of the San Antonio Spurs. He had a really good season last year. He and DeMar seem to have great chemistry. And shout to DeMar DeRozan because he's one of those guys when we talk about the dynamics of joining super teams, I always shout out Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, as players that got and Russell Westbrook, they got drafted by a team that isn't considered the large market, yet find a way to not only help turn around the fortunes of that franchise, but be the face of it and continue to have a level of have an ability to re-engage themselves with the community.
If you're projecting the Spurs season, what seed do you think they end up at the end of it?
Spurs top 5. You just close your eyes and you look at all of the teams, you look at all of the rosters, you're going to put them in front of the Spurs.
Can the Lakers challenge the Warriors?
They're going to be
Lakers. You see the roster? Look at the Spurs. The Spurs are going to be there.
They're going to be there.
Well, Bruins reliever Josh Hader is in trouble. When he was 17 years old, he sent out some very racist, homophobic, and pretty deplorable, disturbing tweets. Again, he was 17 years old at the time. But this all came to light over the weekend, and amidst the controversy, Josh Hader took the mound for the Brewers, and he was greeted by, I don't know, maybe not a majority of the fans, but by a lot of the fans with a standing ovation. Jalen Rose, do you see this as the fans of the Brewers supporting their player during a troubled time, or do you see it as them supporting the player's views that he tweeted about when he was 17?
So I don't want all Brewers fans to get a bad rap.
No, we can't generalize
because
with this topic.
This puts them in a unique spot because you just gave the two parallels. One is we're going to support our guy. We're here to watch baseball. He came out of the dugout to pitch for our team. He had some turbulence around his name, so we're going to clap for him and support him. But then there's the are you tone deaf part of this, because if somebody had a really good baseball game and the fans wanted to give them a curtain call, upon that, what do? Give him a standing ovation.
Yes.
That's not something that's necessarily reserved for a person like him that just showed up at his job. That's really what he did.
I could not give this man a standing ovation after reading those tweets. I could not. I understand you want to support your player, and like, if you're them, they could easily say, you know what? I wasn't supporting the things that he said. I was supporting him during a troubled time. He's now pitching for our team, and I really love our team. But it just seems implicit that if you stand up and cheer based on the things that he said, there's a part of it that feels like it's support for his views, which is why I would have stayed sitting with my arms crossed.
And this is why, now I want to do the flip side. This is why if you're a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers and you're at that stadium, you can't be one of the people that's standing and giving this level of
not
ovation.
Everybody did. If you watch the footage, there were people sitting down.
Because this comes off as an endorsement.
Yes.
If he would have done something that you felt was deplorable, regardless of whether he played on your team or not, you would not stand. I'm old enough to remember when this happened with John Rocker. This exact same thing took place. And when he took the mound, he was running as fast as he can. He's a fire-breathing dragon, and the fans embraced him. And this is something that is head-scratching, but also it's unfortunate that when we talk about his tweets, I have to make sure that they don't continue to be quantified by his age. And here's why.
Yeah, do you think that gets him off the hook? I was 17.
I've done and said some stupid things at 45.
Of course.
That he probably wouldn't have done when he was 15.
He built a podcast and television show around the stupid things that you said.
Correct. But when you're 17, you're old enough not to be racist and homophobic.
Yes, I was not racist and homophobic when I was 17 years old.
And you know, if this is how you feel, you probably should keep it to yourself and or share it with those that feel those views exist that you're in concert with, not things that A, you're saying, B, you're tweeting, and that people are giving you a standing ovation when you return to a baseball game.
There's some reports that Dwayne Wade, remember, Dwayne Wade signed a lifetime contract with Chinese athletic footwear supplier Li Ning, and there are reports that he could be offered a quote-unquote monster contract to play basketball in China. Jalen Rose, what number would have to be on that monster contract for him to get him and his power couple on a plane and to play in China?
When you start saying 10 million, we got to have a conversation.
When it gets to eight digits,
I got to talk to the wife.
I mean, that's 7 zeros.
Here's how it goes. I'm getting the shoe money. I'm playing in Miami. No state income taxes. I won 3 championships. Like, I'm good. So I'm not doing it for the bread. But when you're in sports and entertainment, there are things you will do for the bread.
Of course, for everything has a number.
And so when they say 3 million, he like, oh, my son got game. Yeah. I'm going to be missing watching him play.
I just redid the kitchen.
No question. The wife, he got so many projects happening. I'm not going to even share that with them. Like, I ain't even bring that to the table yet. Okay. Now when they say 10 million, so I got to talk to the wife.
Yeah, let's just float that out there.
What do you feel about
on China first? You know, just find some nice places. I go to whatever the Chinese Zillow is. Be like, look where we could live.
I got to get it done number, though.
Oh, what's that?
I think if they could get it to 15 million, they can get it done.
Gabby's already on the plane.
They get it done.
15, she's already on the plane.
They get it done.
I love it.
Hey, you know, we'll go for this 15 million. It's all yours.
And look at Marbury. Marbury had a musical about him. He's got a statue. Dwayne Wade could have 2 statues, one in Miami and one in China. I like this for him.
I like that he has options. He's earned the right.
Well, the Lakers acquired LeBron James, who I'm pretty familiar with, but since then, they've added to their roster. Rajon Rondo, he played great in the playoffs. And then they've also added, Michael Beasley, Lance Stevenson, and JaVale McGee. Jalen Rose, when I say they've added Rondo, McGee, Lance, and Beasley, it's a little curious. If you had to explain their offseason strategic philosophy in terms of acquisitions, how would you explain it?
So a lot of this is about growth and maturity. And Rondo, Beasley, Lance, and JaVale McGee at different points of their careers have all been emotionally unstable with their basketball situation.
It's a very kind way of putting it. Yes, they've all been emotionally unstable with their basketball situation.
But however, each have found a way to rebound and now is the best version of themselves.
You would say last season was a sort of bounce back season for all four of those players.
And you know what that does in a locker room when you have seasoned vets? Now they can look at Brandon. They can look at Lonzo. They can look at Kuzma. And they can hit the brakes quick.
They say, sit on the bench.
You don't want to send that tweet. You don't want to do that IG post. These aren't the things that you want to do if you're talking about investing yourself in winning. And from a basketball perspective, what it showed me, Rondo is the prototypical floor general. Mm-hmm. They wanted to get guys that could create their own shot.
A lot, yeah. I mean, first of all, Lance isn't known for his passing. Beasley's not exactly a 10 assists a night kind of guy.
And when you play in particular in the Western Conference, sometimes you got to just put 115 on the board. And then look up and say, well, it's 2 minutes to go in the game, turn it over to LeBron and try to close it out. Mm-hmm. That's what I see taking place. And also a team that's just trying to be as good as they can, but also keep the flexibility to be a part of free agency in 2019.
Let's be honest, this could go really right. This could go really really wrong. But one thing this isn't going to go on for 2 years. Because every one of these players signed a 1-year deal. They all come off the books, and if it plays well and it fits and LeBron and Luke are into it, you stay around for next year. And if it doesn't, guess what? You're back on the free agent market.
Now, for those that get a chance to probably see Luke Walton at amazing restaurants and venues.
He started losing his hair.
He's going to be ordering double amount of drinks now.
He's going to start losing his hair. Luke Walton's job just got a lot more difficult.
If he was getting 3 glasses of wine, now it's going to be 6.
He's about to put on 30 pounds, lose his hair, big bag like Jeff Van Gundy, big bags under his eyes. He's going to be in a tough spot.
I'm rooting for you, Luke.
I'm rooting for you,
He's
Luke.
done a good job developing those young guys.
Jalen, one thing you and I do is we always complain about Uber drivers. Listening to our conversations, starting conversations, listening to bad music. Just the Uber experience would be so much better if the driver is a kind, quiet human being. Well, there's one Uber driver in St. Louis who is not that. There's an Uber driver in St. Louis who is now being suspended and is being investigated for broadcasting to the internet over 700 rides. Jalen, this man took ear hustling to another level. If you saw that you were being broadcasted on the internet while you were in an Uber, how would you react?
So I have a different response for this. As somebody that's been a international public figure, I think, since college, but for the most part, pretty famous in my own neighborhood the entire time. Mm-hmm. I always anticipate this happening.
Really?
So I wouldn't be surprised. Everywhere you go, somebody has a phone. And anytime somebody has a phone, they could be recording
it could be just me and you in an elevator, you still talking code. That's one thing I heard about you. Like, you're always talking some kind of code, or I kind of don't know what you're talking about.
I've been jaded. And that's unfortunate that you have to be that way, but ultimately you need to protect yourself. But this level of disrespect, this level of evasion is just foul. Like, somebody should be able to take this back and do something physically to that individual.
Or at least to the car. Right now, it is time for Soft Mover Boss. At the Cubs game, you know how it is? In the front row, cute kids always get balls thrown to them. Well, let's take a look at what happened at the Cubs game. Here we have this baseball kid, cute kid there, throwing the ball to him. This dude grabs the ball, gives it to his lady. She goes, boom, and then keeps it. There's been some updated information that apparently this dude already got a ball for the kid earlier in the game. But here's my question. Putting the happiness of your lady in front of the happiness of everyone else on the world, is that a soft move or a boss
move?
Okay.
As a newlywed on this program, I just saw her say, I want one. So if she's saying that and a strange kid is saying that, who gets it? Especially one that I've already given a ball to.
Yeah,
that's what's getting lost about this.
The Cubs come out with some damage control, and they're like, oh, well, the kid already got a ball. It's one thing to come home from the stadium with a ball. You don't need to come home from the stadium with 2 baseballs. Boss move. Next, Jimmy G went on a date. He went on a date with an actress that happens to act in adult films named Kiara Mia. Well, guess what? Kiara Mia's searches on the internet have exploded over 2,000%.
Wow.
And now TMZ is talking to her. She's famous now. Using a date with Jimmy G as a career come-up. Soft move or boss move?
Boss move. Because I don't consider what she did as trying to use him for a come-up. Here's why, fellas.
Oh, okay.
And ladies. He took her to Beverly Hills to dinner. Mm-hmm. He knew that people were going to see them. They were holding hands for public consumption. So, therefore, maybe he was trying to
Who knows what
kick
kind
it
of
with
message?
her.
Maybe he was sending a message to a previous lover of his.
How
Who
about
knows?
this? I know what the G stands for, and I watched a lot of Fred Sanford. The G's not for getting it in. Jimmy G bought that life.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on. Finally, the Dolphins released a statement about how the official document they sent to the NFL about suspending players for 4 games if they protest the anthem was a placeholder. It was just a mistake. Acting like the very real threat to suspend your players on a very real document was an oopsie. Soft move or boss?
Soft move. Because that shouldn't have been on a piece of paper.
We know Dolphins. We know Dolphins that wasn't a placeholder.
But NFL, can y'all figure out a way to make both
so we can
sides
stop talking about this every day.
be on the same page?
Jalen Rose, I did it. We've been off for 2 weeks. I've been on with the co-host. You've been on vacation, getting married. Congratulations once again. One thing I've done in those 2 weeks is I have fully committed to watching the television program that goes by the name of Power.
Yeah!
My wife, I was like, we got to watch this together. My wife did not support it, but she did pay the money to get stars activated on my Apple TV.
Joey's the best.
So I watched the first 2 episodes of this season, and I watched intently. When I first started watching, I fell asleep. And I was like, if I'm going to talk about this on Waxed, I need to really focus on this. So I have really focused on this. I have a lot of questions for you about this program. But I think that my read on these characters is pretty good. But there's a lot of bad judgment, a lot of bad decisions going on. These people are not making the right decisions. Whenever Tommy's like, I'm not going to talk to the mob boss. I'm just going to hire his godson on the side. I'm like, Tommy, you can keep secrets from your girlfriend. You can keep secrets from your boss. But you never want to keep secrets from the Italian mob boss. It doesn't seem like good decision making. Angela, what are you doing? You've got this big job. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just come clean. Come clean about everything. Don't try to hide it and log in as somebody else. You're going to get caught. And the text and emails, I know how computer systems work. The keystroke, they can find out that it was you. They can find out that it was you.
So, a few things. First and foremost, thank you for watching, my brother.
Of course. I'm not fully even caught up yet. I feel bad I haven't watched all 4 episodes.
Thank you for watching. And big shout to Joey, as I mentioned, because she's now bringing a new family into her home. The power one.
The power.
You know, she already has enough to deal with. Okay? And now she's embracing this, so I appreciate it. So for everybody out there, I got to teach you a secret. Power actually comes out at 12 midnight on Saturday.
See, I didn't know that. You said you were watching it yesterday. I'm like, isn't it on tonight?
And here's a couple of ways to do it. I don't know if you may have Amazon, but you could just watch it on Amazon.
I do have Amazon.
Okay? That's one way to get it early. The other way to get it early is on demand, depending on your cable provider. So there are a couple of ways to watch it before it actually comes on at 7 or 8 p.m., depending on where you live. But a couple of things in the most recent episode. I actually want to go through a couple of things, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Don't
because
spoil
it's
it.
only
I don't
the
like
day
spoilers.
after.
I don't like spoilers.
And so here's the thing I wanted to challenge people on. My wife, first time I said that into a microphone.
Nice. How's it feel?
Gets on me about watching the same show multiple times. And here's the example I gave her. When you listen to music, you listen to the same record over and over again.
Of course.
People who are in their 60s can still tour for songs that they did 40 years ago.
Of course.
Because we play the same song over and over again.
Movies are the same way.
And why is that prevalent? Is because the more you hear the song, sometimes you hear and catch on the things that you might have missed.
Of course. More layers.
It's the exact same thing when I'm watching a television program that I'm really into. I like to unlock all of the characters. There are people walking this earth right now that say they watch a lot of Power, but then you'll ask them, who's the attorney? Name 2 of the attorneys. They probably won't know the names. They probably won't know the names of a couple of the crime families. Okay, so this is why. So let me just go to the most recent episode.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet, Jalen. Don't you know how this works?
I'm not going to spoil it. I started this conversation by letting you know I'm not going to spoil it.
I guarantee he spoils it.
So I'm still, it's still, to see Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan all working together or pretending to about anything still is laughable to me. Okay. There was a time when I had a microphone, when I had a remote control in my hand. It's like, Dre the most powerful man in the world. Like, when he got those 3 opposing him, that's a lot of power. So, Ghost starts out, they're waiting on Tommy, he late, boom. His dad just got out. Now, the prevalent thing about his dad, Tarasi, getting out is he's supposed to have life. And usually, we all know, if somebody had life and they're getting out, you had to squeal in one way, shape, or form, or planning on it.
And that's Tommy's dad, right?
Correct. That's his dad that he didn't find out about until he was in jail, by the way. He just, like Ghost told him, he been your family for 15 minutes. I've been your family your entire life. And so, I wanted to kind of go down the path of what you said about the decisions these men have to make.
They make bad
or
decisions.
People have to make.
There's no one on the show that's making good decisions.
First off, I'm going to go with Tasha. She's dealt with so much, losing her daughter, having to deal with him cheating with Angela Valdez, but then sleeping with the attorney. That was a bad decision.
Bad decision.
And that's going to come full circle in this episode for those that haven't seen it. Let's talk about
There's the spoiler.
The Jimenez, quote-unquote, brothers. Okay. Alicia and Diego. They don't see eye to eye because Diego, he ain't about handling business the right way. They got a club.
I don't like the way Diego moves.
They're trying to handle the bread, and yet he's undisciplined and irresponsible. He running up tabs. Like, you can't handle the business that way. I want to get back to Ghost. Because he has a lot going on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Why is Tariq telling Dre, like, what is it between Tariq and Dre that I don't understand? Like, why is Tariq siding with Dre over his father and his family?
Because Dre knows where some of the bones are buried with Tariq. And just like Tariq doesn't want Dre to squeal, it works both ways.
Okay.
Because
Tariq's been compromised.
He's been compromised. And Officer, so it's a lot of things. First off,
Jalen's done more preparation for this conversation than
I have
in the history of the program.
So the most poignant thing that happened for me is when Ghost wanted to challenge Tommy about not telling him Teresi was out of jail, and then they tell Kanan to give them some space to talk. Mm-hmm. And then Kanan looks at both of them and thought, I thought we were in this together. I thought we were partners. Now y'all want to have a conversation and exclude me. But he only walks 5 steps and can hear everything that they're saying. Okay? So that fascinates me. Let me get to Angela Valdez.
Bad decision maker.
No question about it. Now, I understand that she's now working with Tasha to try to cover up the information that may lead to who killed Raymond Jones. Mm-hmm. I get that. I get that. I truly do. But then Tasha meets a gentleman named Steve that's working from D.C., and you're going to see in this episode,
spoiler again,
she doesn't necessarily make the best decisions with that relationship, and it comes back to bite her. It really does.
How did Angela get her job?
How does she keep it?
It just seems like everyone that works with her knows that she's crooked. She's crooked, but she keeps getting promoted.
Now let me just talk about Dre for a minute. Because Dre that dude right now, okay? He working for the Jimenez. He's running and expanding their businesses. However, I can tell the way Diego dogging him and the way Alicia is dogging him, that's not going to last long.
You don't think?
She rubbing on his ear and pulling, just slandering
some of
his
the
character.
exhibitionistic tendencies from Diego I found a little curious.
Yes.
A little voyeuristic tendencies as well I found a little odd.
Yes.
That's not how I get down.
And shout out to Attorney Proctor, Jerry, my guy. You know, his ex visits, got the daughter in the house, the feds visit, trying to break down a crime scene. The thing I love about Power, each character has like 10 different things happening with them. So you can't truly follow everything that's happening with everybody at the same time unless you do like me. Gotta watch it 50 times.
Gotta watch it 50 times. So speaking of 50 Cent.
Kanan.
On Power, Star Power, was in the news recently.
Kanan got a lot going on. I can't wait to him Ghost and Tommy ain't seeing eye to eye.
That's not.
Because Kanan already said that he's trying to take over Tommy's network.
That's going to happen very soon. And 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather are going back and forth on social media. Now they've done this in the past, and it's been kind of just goofing between brothers. But these are some very personal shots that are being taken. Do you think that this is promotional to keep each other's name in the news, or do you think this
I don't
is real
think this
beef?
is promotional. Some of the things that were being said and that I read in Floyd's IG post, because we know that there's levels to things that you'll say about somebody unless you just like, they're dead to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to say what I need to say, and I don't care how they think, what they feel, or whatever. And that's what I took from those messages.
It had that tone.
And as people that I have love for, both of them, who have both been on this program, as a matter of fact, probably two of the only 5 people to ever come on this show. I did not like seeing that discord publicly, and I do hope that they find a way to see eye to eye.
So, this is one of those we can talk about on the podcast, we can't talk about on the TV show topics.
Too hot for TV.
R. Kelly was trending, and I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
What did R. Kelly do this time? What happened this time? And he wasn't arrested. He didn't die. There was no new allegations. He put out a 19-minute song called I Admit, where he didn't admit to much. 19 minutes. And he defended himself against the various allegations that are swirling about him in the past 6 months or so. Jalen Rose, are you ever going to listen to this 19-minute song?
No.
No. I mean, I couldn't even, I have no interest whatsoever.
He's one of the individuals walking the earth that I made sure I didn't separate his allegations from me being somebody that continued to support his art. So I stopped doing so a long time ago, actually.
If Step in the Name of Love comes on at Harlan's wedding, are you going to dance to it? Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
Possibly.
Yes.
But I'm at a wedding, and at that point, I'll probably be 10 drinks in.
Support the power
so, I mean, I'll probably dance to anything.
Oh, R. Kelly, they could give out the winning Powerball numbers in the 18th minute of that song, and no one would ever. No one would win tonight.
But here's the thing, though. I applaud the women who are currently trying to make sure that his music gets silenced. I'm surprised that companies and advertisers, he was still doing shows.
Yeah,
he was
of course.
actually still traveling.
There's still money to be made in the R. Kelly business.
To go on stage while people were cheering for his music.
It's different when you're Kanye and you're going through something and you say something crazy in the TMZ offices. Like, I can still listen to Kanye, but the R. Kelly stuff is a little bit more serious than that. He didn't just pop off in an interview once.
Correct.
So the 76ers are really pushing this narrative that Markelle Fultz's jump shot has been rebuilt.
Okay, he got a lot of time to do it.
They're really pushing this narrative that his trainer, Drew Henson, has just really fixed his jump shot. Are you buying it?
Well, if you listen to this program, I told everybody last year, and it was one of those things that probably shouldn't have been said for public consumption, but I got the intel and did it anyway, that the team and his previous trainer fell out after his injury because they changed how he was doing his jumper. And if you notice, he's not working with that trainer anymore. He's working with one that also trains Joel Embiid amongst other people.
Henson,
So based on that, I think the club's happy, he's happy, and hopefully his game continues to evolve. I thought he should have got minutes in the playoffs last year as a guy that had a triple-double late in the season, but yet got DNPs in the playoffs. That was really weird.
So we got some questions on Twitter from some of our associate producers. Matthias wants to know,
shout out.
Congratulations on the wedding, Jalen. Do you feel more free or locked?
I feel more free because you have a life partner. And there's levels to all types of scenarios in life, whether it's work, whether it's sports. Relationships are the exact same way. You meet somebody, you're dating. Then you're committed. Then you're boyfriend and girlfriend. Then you're engaged. There are multiple levels. And please correct me if I'm wrong, David Jacoby, but there is no level, no sense of finality than standing in front of someone and hearing those vows. And once you do that, your relationship and friendship officially becomes a partnership.
The daily behaviors don't change. The routine doesn't change. But there's this sort of it's hard to articulate, but there's a feeling that changes, and the bond is strengthened between the two of you just because you've made that promise to each other.
And covenant.
So,
and when you have that level of coverage to blanket your relationship, it tends to send you in a positive direction because you're trying to live right.
Two Names wants to know, was there lobster at the wedding?
No lobster at the wedding.
It was a small wedding.
We didn't do it traditional.
No.
We did it.
Yes. We also have this question, drums or flats? You know my answer.
Both.
You know my
Yours,
answer.
Drums.
Psst, Jalen.
You like flats? Yeah, you like
Yes. Come on, Jalen.
Here's
How many
what I
times
have
have you
to say.
seen me order wings? How many times have you seen me order wings? Seriously, about
you
150.
flats only. Yeah, you flats only. But I want to ask the callers and or people on social media, like, is that a thing? Like, I didn't really make it a thing until I saw you doing it.
Really? You think it's unique to me ordering flats only?
You were one of the only people I've ever been out eating with, and they specifically ordered wings and only asked for drums or flats. In your case,
I'm curious. Yeah, callers, call 985-80-JALEN. Let us know, especially if you're a server that works at a wing establishment. Let us know how frequently that happens.
Shout out.
I like what I like, so I assumed that everybody just sort of orders drums or flats exclusively. I go flats exclusively every single time. However, recently, and this might turn this into a cultural question, I was at a place in Harlem. There are a lot of African American human beings there. And I asked for flats, and they said, no, we can't do that.
Oh, no doubt. That's you
No,
now
and
you're rolling with me.
they said it's too popular of an order. So they're like, if we gave everybody that wanted flats, just flats, we would just have a bunch of drums left over.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Now that I think about it, I guess I prefer flats.
Oh, I definitely do.
But I eat drums too because
I eat
I love
drums too.
drumsticks.
Oh, no, you don't do turkey legs, do you?
Of course I do turkey
no
legs.
way.
They're the best.
Oh, those are the worst.
I'm gonna have one today.
No.
Now that I think about it,
Turkey legs are disgusting. Those weird like ligaments in them and stuff. And those chewy ligament vein things in there. Ugh. Oh God, getting a turkey leg at the state fair, like you would have to pay me like whatever Dwayne Wade's gonna get paid to go to China to eat one of those. For real. So disgusting. Don't forget to call 985-80-JALEN. Don't just tell us about wings. Also, leave us questions on voicemail like this one.
What up, Doe fam? Shout out Reg. Shout out Jacoby. Shout out Harlan. Jalen, you could have gave us a heads up you was getting married, dope boy. Congratulations. Big shout out to Molly Karen Rose. I don't know if she hyphenated it. It's a woman's world. She can do whatever she wanted to do. It should be Jalen's Karen right now. Cause I know he has a new boss. But anyway, just wanted to say big congratulations. Now, it's a good thing you told us, so now we understand why you took a week off while all this stuff is going on in the NBA and you just want to go on a honeymoon. You gotta give the people what they want, but I guess you got a priority now. Anyway, last thing, I have a cultural versus regional question, because I did see the wedding picture. Jalen, hairline was looking fresh. Molly, of course, stole the show in her beautiful dress. But my question is, white suits on your wedding day for the man, is that cultural or regional? Because I don't see too many guys that look like Jacoby. I don't know, maybe I don't go to so many weddings, but every time I've seen a groom in a white suit, he's looked more like me and Jalen. So I want to know if it's just me. What's the deal? Congratulations again. Big things. Get the people what they want.
Is a full white suit, not just the jacket, like a tuxedo jacket, full white suit, pants and blazer and button up. Full white suit, is that cultural or regional?
A full white suit is definitely cultural.
It's cultural.
No question about it.
I want to say this, it's a good look.
It's clean.
It's a good look. You two look great in the
Thank
picture.
you, family. And correct me if I'm wrong again, David, when you marry, you just wear what she says. Like, y'all think I had a say in this? Like, oh, we're going to wear red. We're going to wear blue. We're going to wear black. I didn't say anything. She did all of the legwork, and then she told me this is what you're wearing. So that's kind of how it went down.
You actually got married a couple weeks ago.
I did.
And it was kind of under wraps a little bit. Like, you were wearing a ring on first take, and on Get Up, and some people noticed and some people didn't. What was the decision-making process behind sort of keeping it under wraps? Did you tell Page Six to release it? Did Page Six find out about it? How did the communications work?
So, the one thing about being a public figure is that it's refreshing when everything doesn't have to be. And that really was the thinking and the approach behind it. We understand that people will find out, but let them find out on their own terms while we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so it's refreshing to look back in hindsight at how it played out, and I'm glad we did it that way.
I'm so happy about it, and I'm really happy you did it in your own way, and I'm so happy to just watch you two grow as a power couple.
Thank you, family.
I'm happy to come up to your house and drop off my kids.
You said you was coming this weekend. We'll see.
This weekend. I got wife out of town for 10 days.
You should come by.
I'm definitely coming. I'm just going to text Molly instead of texting you.
You should just, you don't have to text, just come by.
Set it up. I don't have the address. I want to thank everybody for calling, and I want to finish with another congratulations to Molly Karam and Jalen Rose.
Thank you, family.
The newest married power couple on the planet. We'll be back tomorrow with another dope show to step to. Why is that?
Done. We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.